Welcome back to Mock the Mock, where we take a look at someone else's mock draft. And I'm mocking, giving you my views, thoughts, and opinions. Finally, my last recording of the day, and then I'm going to sit back, I'm going to take it easy, and then I'm going to chill with y'all tomorrow during the Senior Bowl watch along. That's going to be a ton of fun. But TPS, listen, I get it with other channels, you know. Bengal, Goat House, they're popular. They'll probably get more views than me on mock drafts. But TPS? 55K? What we doing here? Son of a gun, dude. What's crack-a-lackin', by the way, if you're new to the channel? It is your boy, Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So, I have a ton of draft content on this channel. I put in the work. I put in the hours just to give y'all my opinion. And then I talk about it with y'all in the comment section. What we doing here? Where is Broshmo? 55K. One day. My other monitor just went out. Great. Look at that. It's only me here. They got 100 people on there. Freaking payroll, man. Let's take a look at their mock. All right, I'm turning the sound off. I've already watched it, by the way. So let's go ahead, get into it. I love looking at other perspectives. Theirs is typically pretty interesting at the very least. Jacksonville Jaguars. I imagine this is Aiden Hutchinson, Evan Neal. Those are the popular picks right now. It's Evan Neal. They even took it from Pro Football Network. That's Pro Football Network's. That's one of their thumbnails. I know. I read their stuff. Look at that. TPS, man. Come on now. I mean, to be fair, I'm going to take their thumbnail, slap my face on it, and put Mock the Mock, but come on now. All right, so Evan Neal, Jaguars. Makes a ton of sense. Cam Robinson, he is going to be a free agent. Don't think they bring him back. They do have Walker Little. They do have Jawan Taylor. They're hoping Jawan Taylor takes that next leap. He has yet in 3 years. Does he in year 4? Maybe. Walker Little looked pretty good in a few snaps there at left tackle. Evan Neal, he can play both sides. There's nothing wrong with this pick. Let's move on. Detroit probably taking Aiden Hutchinson then at this point. Let's just start guessing. Let's just guess. Look, I nailed it. Actually, I watched it beforehand, so yeah, I guess I'll be guessing right. I don't know, to be fair, I don't remember. Once we get into like after top 10, I don't remember what a lot of the picks were. But Aiden Hutchinson, hometown boy. Some people love him, some people don't. Great locker room leader. The guy put in the work this year. He was by far the most dominant pass rusher in football. And if we're to believe Bruce Feldman, who constantly puts out a freaks list each year, Aiden Hutchinson made it. If those spring training numbers are correct, he comes out, proves it at the Senior Bowl, then you get it, my friend. You get it. Real quick, I want to shout out a sponsor. I'm going to make an actual ad because I want to show off this jersey that they sent me. Team Jersey Pro. If you use promo code BROSHMO, you get 10% off, all caps. But they make custom-made jerseys, whether it's basketball, football, baseball. They got all kinds of different sports. Really cool. Go ahead, support the channel, support them. It's dope. I can't wait to show off this jersey. It's pretty dope. I got a baseball jersey. I can use the Mets font. It's beautiful. But yeah, no, this is cool. I imagine the Houston Texans, they're going best player available. It makes all the sense in the world. They do. Kayvon Thibodeau. No argument here. I got nothing wrong with this pick. They go best player available. Some of y'all, like, I think Ken McWanu is also another viable pick here. So we'll see. I think I might play with that in a future mock draft. So let's go ahead. Let's keep this sucker going. We have the Jets. Kyle Hamilton, rather than going with the offensive line. Goat House, I haven't looked to see if this is a verified information, but apparently they're trying to extend George Fant. Still wouldn't be opposed to grabbing Ken McWanu, playing him at guard. Not opposed to that, but I mean, I feel like if you're going to play him at guard, then go ahead and take Kyle Hamilton. He's going to be the best player available on a lot of people's boards. And you're not going to have Marcus May, as you see there. Notable free agents. He is on the franchise tag, likely not coming back. So, yeah, no. They get a good pick here. We go to the New York Giants. So this is probably a Ken McWanu. Bam, Icky. They get the sticky Icky. Listen, I think the biggest need is offensive line. Their offensive line was among the bottom of the league. It was not good. If they're going to give Daniel Jones a fair evaluation, a fair chance, hey, this guy, he's got a big arm. He can scramble. We still think he can be a franchise quarterback here. Let's give him a shot. Let's draft some offensive linemen. They don't really have a lot of salary cap to do a lot in free agency, so getting Icky makes all the sense in the world. Carolina Panthers, I think it's Tyler Linderbaum. Yep, they go Tyler Linderbaum. So essentially they go best player available. And I'm not opposed to this either. If you're not sold on any of the quarterbacks, if you don't think Malik Willis was looking hot enough to be the number 6 pick, then go ahead, take the best player available. Whether you could make an argument, maybe Derek Stingley, Sauce, but Tyler Linderbaum should be in that conversation. I know Zion Johnson's looked great at the Senior Bowl. I don't think he's going to eclipse Tyler Linderbaum. Don't tell me, but he could play all these roles. We don't even know if Linderbaum could play guard. It's like this dude's center play is next level. He's put in years of just elite play at center. Yeah, he's a top 10 prospect to me, so yeah, la-di-da. What? I got fuzz on my desk. What the heck? Gotta address the fuzz. Giants' next pick. This one was interesting. They go to Kobe Dean. I'm totally okay with. I'm okay with this. They got Blake Martinez, and that's about it at linebacker. Don't you dare tell me Tay Crowder. Oh, he's solid. Yeah, he's a good depth piece. I don't want to see that dude starting. I want to minimize him being on the field in general. But Kobe Dean, man, like he had an amazing year. This is a guy that constantly made plays around the ball, whether it was in the backfield, whether it was in coverage. Go back to the screenplay against Kentucky where he was the only one on the field for Georgia that knew it was a screenplay. He went by 3 blockers and blew that play up. Amazing. While this might not be, I mean, where else do you go here? Like, let's really think this out. George Karlaftis, he'd be higher on my board. Or you could say David Ojabo, or maybe Jermaine Johnson. I would put Jermaine Johnson in that tier after the week he had. So there is that. I mean, I don't think you go with one of the corners. I actually like what they have in the secondary. I really think edge would be the only other place you could go. So yeah, no, this is fine. This is what it is. Let's take a look at who's next. Falcons, right? They go Derek Stingley, probably the top guy on the board. They're pairing him up with AJ Terrell. That sounds cool. You could also think about linebacker here. You could also think about wide receiver here. There we go. Because Ridley likely gone, so you can make that case. You got Charles Cross on the board. We know that Caleb McGarry hasn't really panned out, so you can make that case here. So, this is all good thus far. All good. I wouldn't necessarily say quarterback. This ain't the quarterback to go out and find the heir apparent. Though Malik Willis would be an interesting thought just because of the upside, and you're going to have to sit him anyway. So, there is that. Denver Broncos. Kenny Pickett, you get a quarterback. Listen, I'm going to say this now. This might just be a bit reactionary. We'll see how the rest of the draft process goes. I think Kenny Pickett slides out of the first round. No one in the NFL outside of Michael Vick has played the quarterback position, has started in the modern era with sub 9-inch hands. And I don't know about you, but I would consider Michael Vick a bit different than Kenny Pickett. Listen, Kenny Pickett He's a fine prospect. I'm fine taking him later in the draft, like day 2. You can maybe make a case at the end of the first round, but he didn't do enough to stand out this week at the Senior Bowl. Like, I thought Carson Strong, I thought that Desmond Ridder actually looked better than him this week through Senior Bowl practices. If not on par, that's not what I want to say. If you're gonna be among the top quarterbacks taken, you need to separate yourself. I'll close my door real quick. Hey, baby. My wife just got home, so I don't need to leave it open for the dogs, because y'all love when Gojo makes a guest appearance. Akila, she's not camera shy. She doesn't care. But Broncos, to be honest, this pick's probably going to be spent on a quarterback, whether it's in the draft or if it's used as trade capital for a quarterback. But that's kind of my rant on Kenny Pickett right now as it stands. I actually tweeted out, follow me on Twitter, by the way. I say fun things. And I kind of said Matt Corral is kind of the biggest winner this week, because it was like, man, he really should be here, wish he could have been here. He couldn't because he wasn't eligible to really compete with these guys and make a case for himself, because I've been pretty low on Matt Corral. And then the quarterbacks really didn't have a great week this week, and it's like, well, I mean, that's the best scenario for Matt Corral. So, yeah, I'm kind of reevaluating my thoughts on Matt Corral. The Jets, they go George Karlaftis. So they do go to the trenches. We know Joe Douglas, he likes the trenches. After Carl Lawson kind of got hurt this year, we know injuries have been a thing in his career. You got a really solid player in John Franklin Myers. I always get it backwards. He's been real good. He's a guy that can kick inside at any given moment at that 300-pound mark. But outside of that, you don't really have much. Bryce Huff is a good pass rush specialist, but that's about it. So Karlaftis, I think, would be a good addition. So let's see. Washington football team, they go Matt Corral. Like I said, I'm reevaluating Matt Corral. My problems with Matt Corral is I really think he might be a product of the Lane Kiffin offense. It's really one read, and when that one read isn't open, that's when you see that him get a little shaky in the pocket, and then you see, oh, what great escapability. Yeah, but he's not going through progressions in that offense. When he targets downfield, I don't think he's the most accurate quarterback downfield. I think guys like Sam Howell, I'm a big fan of. Some of y'all might not be high on Sam Howell. I kind of think he's among the top quarterbacks in this class. But even Carson Strong are a bit more accurate downfield. But he kind of falls into this middle-end territory. But then again, after this week, all the quarterbacks kind of feel middle-end outside of the insane upside that is Malik Willis, who I think we see later in this draft. But Washington, you gotta feel they even got the old logo. Get that Commanders logo going. I actually need to go in there and upload that logo. But yeah, my wife's bringing groceries, so she goes out and the dogs lose their mind. So if you hear barking, that's what it is. But as of right now, I don't think I have a problem with a team drafting Matt Corral in the first round, as I have it in prior mocks. But if you didn't know, that's kind of like my spiel on Matt Corral. Let's keep this sucker rolling. Let's see who goes next. Washington feels like they have to draft a quarterback, but rather than going another year with Heineke, but maybe they do. Washington, this is lost in the sauce. Listen, they have the worst cornerback group of any team in the NFL. This makes a ton of sense. Ahmad Gardner didn't have to play in the Senior Bowl this week, so he didn't even participate, didn't get measured out. He was like, oh, I'm going to start preparing for the combine. So good on you, Sauce. Never allowed a touchdown in his career. I think that is kind of sexy if you are the new coaching staff there for the Minnesota Vikings. Cleveland Browns, Garrett Wilson. We've been saying, hey, receiver, it's kind of a big need for the Browns, especially if Jarvis Landry's on his way out, because then they really only have they have Donovan Peoples-Jones, they have Anthony Schwartz, they have Rashad Higgins, he's still there. Who else do they have there? I don't know, but they need to add more talent. So Garrett Wilson, he's here. You know what? Hey, Baker, 5th year. It's a proven year for Baker, so give him all the talent you can at receiver. DeMarvin Leal, this was a big surprise. I think DeMarvin Leal, he's kind of a fallen prospect, and I'll tell you why. Because the second half of the season wasn't that great for him, as he was playing more inside rather than outside. I think he put on bad weight because he was looking a little bit more thicker, closer to that 300 than the 290. I think, and also he had a drug arrest. It was for like misdemeanor marijuana. Take that as you may. Young kid doing something stupid. I mean, it's not like he went out and, killed somebody. Don't know why I said that. But I think he turns that bad weight into good weight that he put on in a rush during the season, and he looks stellar at the combine, and I think his draft stock goes back up. At this point, he's probably more the second round for a lot of people, just because of a recency bias. Like we talk about that with Andrew Booth, recency bias. His last four games were spectacular, and he's going to test out well. Well, DeMarvin Leal, he kind of had a dud of a second half of the season. Once we get to the combine, bam, recency bias. Ooh, he looking good. Back in the conversation. DeMarvin Leal is a phenomenal prospect and would be a phenomenal fit for the Baltimore Ravens. Let's talk about the Eagles because they get 2 picks here. Their first one is Kenyon Green. This is, I think, a bit of a Jason Kelce, he's a free agent. I think he comes back, or if not, maybe retires. Brandon Brooks did retire, so maybe you don't feel good with Isaac Samalu. You don't want to move. I don't know. Like, even getting Kenyon Green, you're moving Landon Dickinson to center at that point. And then you're having Jack Driscoll deserves to be one of the starting guards. And then you probably have Kenyon Green and Samalu fight it out for the left guard spot. That would be my thought here. I have no problem with it. I think he's a top 20 talent. This cat was good. Someone in the comment sections be like, oh, he didn't have a good game against Arkansas. Okay, cool. Go back and look at his full 2 seasons. Last year, he was elite at left guard. This year, he played all over the place because Texas A&M was spontaneous. It was like, you're playing this position today. Oh, boy. Like, yeah, when you can't sit at home and, like, get a position down. Like, he started the year, like, his best grades came at the beginning of the year where he played right tackle, and then he was moving all over the place. Like, that ain't fair. So if you're going to be coming in being like, yo, he didn't have a good game against Arkansas, miss me with that nonsense. Just miss me with that nonsense, because the rest of the year he was near shutdown. Like, just get out of here. And by the way, that's probably the only good game you could pull up with Trey Williams. Bam. All right. Let's see what their next pick is. Do they go offense again? No, they go Devin Lloyd. Haven't drafted a linebacker this high in 40 years. When you got 3 first-round picks, you could kind of go anywhere. So why not go with linebacker? Which really your only solid linebacker there is probably T.J. Edwards. So yeah, Devin Lloyd would be good. He could do a lot of things well. Great length. I won't say he's not the athlete that Nakobe Dean is, but his size, like, is a guy who will translate well to the NFL. He showed better ability and coverage this season. He's got that length to really clog passing lanes, and he's a phenomenal blitzer. All right, who's next? Chargers. Travon Walker. Someone asked me about Travon Walker in the comment section. I saw your comment. I'm going to get to it. Or you could just watch this video. Travon Walker is a specimen. He's far from a polished prospect, but he's got that physical build the NFL loves. He's got the physical tools, as if you will. And he's a guy that was capable of dropping back in coverage. He can play. The dude can play Jerry Tillery's role there and be like kind of a penetrator, or you could legit have him play like 7 tech, 9 tech, and drop him into coverage and probably be fine doing it. I wouldn't do it early on. Again, he's a bit raw as a pass rusher. I thought if he came back, probably a top 10 prospect, but he's in this class. I can see him going in the first round just because of the physical tools. If not, he is going to be a good second round pickup. Saints, they go Desmond Ridder. Listen, Desmond, I'm going to say this right now. I'm not a big Desmond Ridder lover. I'm just not. He, in my opinion, he was the best looking quarterback on the national team that consisted of Carson Strong and Kenny Pickett. He looked the best. And it hurts to say because I've been adamant against Desmond Ridder. He can be wildly inaccurate. I started to get a bit more behind him in the Alabama game. I know he didn't look that great in the Bama game, but you saw some of those special throws. And on day 3 of the Senior Bowl, like you saw some anticipation throws. You saw a bit of accuracy. Is it going to be like that all the time? Probably not, but he is good. He's got great mobility. So, like, it will not surprise me if Desmond Ridder goes in the first round. And I even tweeted out that, man, I hesitantly might make him my quarterback 3, and I'm not in love with it. But that's his quarterback class, you know? As far as the Saints pick, this is a cheap alternative to like a mini rebuild. If you want to go, I think they do go with the quarterback somewhere in this draft. Maybe let one fall to him in the second round, or go ahead and dress it now. Get that guy for the future, get the 5th-year option, and yeah, you do a bit of a mini rebuild because they do have legit free agent. I think they bring back Winston, but then I don't know if they can afford to bring back Williams and Armstead. I really don't. So we'll see. Eagles, next pick. Chris Olave. So they go offense with 2 of their picks. It's a good pick here. He's a good. He's not often talked about in this class, which in this wide receiver class, just because like he's a good route runner, but a lot of people just know him as a burner. And listen, the guy's got good hands. I think over the last 3 seasons, he has the most percentage of routes with a step or more of separation. He can do a little bit after the catch, not compared to like Drake London, Treylon Burks, or Garrett Wilson, but he can do a little bit after the catch. But he would fit what Jalen Hurts does as a quarterback, so I'm not against it. Malik Willis going to the Steelers. Yo, Mike Tomlin was talking to his family. Dude, even the Saints were checking him out, dude. Malik Willis was by far the best quarterback this week in terms of, wow, look at that upside. We already know what he could do as a runner. The dude's fantastic, but you saw some big throws. Like the guy's got a cannon, and he's got incredible zip. I think he had the highest average miles per hour of anyone at the in Senior Bowl history since they started charting in like 2018. He also had the fastest ball thrown. I think it was like 70 some miles per hour, and his average was like 45 miles per hour on each pass. The guy's got zip. He can make off platform throws. What it is, hey, you need to learn how to work inside a structure. Hey, you need to go through your process, go through your reads, process the field, not be early or late on these throws, and yeah, just make good decisions. That's kind of the thing with him. So he is a project, but I think he's one worth investing in, and he's likely going to be quarterback 1 for a lot of people after this week. All right, who is that? Kyer Elam. So J.C. Jackson is a free agent. I think the Patriots would be mad if they didn't bring him back. Even if they bring him back, I think corner would still be a good pickup for them because they have Mills there who actually serves a variety of different roles for the defense. But getting someone that can consistently play on the outside, that's what Kaiir Elam is. He's been playing significant snaps since his freshman season. He's got ideal length. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that he goes here ahead of maybe guys like Trent McDuffie, who you may question his length, or even Roger McCreary, who you will question his length. And then there's Andrew Booth, who doesn't have nearly the sample size of a Kaiir Elam. All right, Raiders, Drake London. I'm a bit at odds with this because I feel like they would maybe go with more of a speedster, but then you got Josh McDaniels in there, so it's going to be a bit different of an offense. What he can do after the catch is amazing. He's great at the contested catch. I feel like Zay Jones was pretty good this year for the Raiders. I don't know why I had to think about what team was picking. But Drake London, I think, goes a lot higher just because he's got rare size, like that prototypical X size, that size that wins in the NFL. And like I forget who made the comp of Brandon Marshall, but I think that is actually a very accurate comp. So who wouldn't love Brandon Marshall on their squad? All right, what do we got going on with the Cards? That's right, I forgot David Ojabo was still on the board. Ojabo has great length, great explosiveness. He has shown a bit of like high-end pass rush and moves. Does need to add a bit more to the toolbox. What he needs to learn not to be a liability in run defense. To be fair, we didn't see him a lot on the field in run-in situations, in run game situations, because Michigan took him off the field during that. That's why in the Georgia game, you didn't really hear much of him because he wasn't on the field a lot because, well, Georgia, they like to run the football. But, yeah, he's still a bit raw, but the upside is, it's immense. It's going to be bigger than guys like Arnold Ebiketie and Jermaine Johnson. That's why it won't surprise me if Ojabo went ahead of those guys. Those guys are more pro-ready, but their ceilings are a bit lower in terms of, well, the length, the explosiveness. So, yeah, Chandler Jones, free agent, makes sense. Like I said, Jermaine Johnson's in this tier for me. Arnold Ebiketie, he's just sniffing it. He's like, I'm here too. Dallas Cowboys, they go, oh my gosh, I forgot Charles Cross was still on the board. This is a great value. You can't argue with it. I don't see him falling this far. I think the NFL is going to love what he has to offer after his combine. He's probably the most athletic tackle in this class. He's one of the most he has the most true pass sets of any of the tackles in this class. And he did it great at an SEC level this year. After the first game, he really started to sturdy his anchor. And, yeah, no, he's been great. So this is a great pickup. Bills, Drake Jackson, they get another edge rusher. I feel like they've invested so much at edge. AJ Epinesa, Gregory Rousseau, you got Carlos Boogie Basham. And I get it. Hughes, Addison, they're both free agents. I imagine Hughes is back with the squad if he doesn't retire. But Drake Jackson, his high-end reps are among the best in this class. The problem was coming into the year was, can he be more consistent? He was a bit more consistent. You love his explosiveness. You love his length. It wasn't to the degree of a Jabo. That's why you don't hear Drake Jackson kind of in that same vein. But it won't surprise me if he snuck into the first round. I just feel like if you're the Bills, maybe you go with Jordan Davis or even Travis Jones. Because if you're looking for that meatier interior player, those are your guys. Andrew Booth on the board, I might go with him, or Trent McDuffie, who I think would be a great fit, especially with Levi Wallace there at as a free agent. So I just think there's probably better routes they could go. Here's Roger McCreary. Listen, Roger McCreary, his length, the NFL is not going to like it. I think they said only 4 corners started on the outside last season with sub 30-inch arms, and like Roger McCreary's are like they're like 29.25-inch arms. So, and you want to know, like the best of the best were Cameron Sutton, who, if the Steelers are mad, they'll keep him on the outside. He's a better like slot/safety player for him. I don't know why they moved him outside. And Dante Jackson, who's kind of been hit or miss, But McCreary, he actually played a few reps in the slot during 7-on-7 and 11-on-11. I really think he probably slides to the second round. But he was easily probably one of the best looking corners this week. Like he's very fluid in his movements. He's not stiff. I think he ends up being a slot player in the NFL, but he's going to be a pretty darn good one that has that potential to play on the outside because he's done it his whole career. I don't know why the Titans are going corner, though, because they got Elijah Molden, who was like my top slot only option in last year's draft. And like Christian Fulton was good this year for him. They could bring back Jack Rabbit. They also have Caleb Farley, who hopefully recovers and is able to play for him. So, yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, this is suspect. All right. Oh, Tampa Bay, Treylon Burks. So I've been typically mocking Jahan Dotson, but like Burks is available. He's big body. He's got great speed. Why not? It's a shame Tom Brady won't be around to throw his way, but it's going to be interesting. How much trust do they have in Kyle Trask? Or do they make a play on a quarterback, whether it's drafting a quarterback or making a trade for a quarterback? You could throw quarterback as a team need because Kyle Trask is very unproven. This will be interesting. No Sam Howell, who's, to me, a top 3 quarterback in this class. Green Bay Packers. Jordan Davis makes it here. He gets to play alongside Kenny Clark. This is good value. I mean, other areas you can go. Okay, what are the receivers looking at right now? Is it Jahan Dotson only? No, there's Jameson Williams. That would be pretty sick. Let's see. You could go along the offensive line. I imagine Trevor Penning's probably going to go in the first round just because I think the NFL is going to love his mentality. They don't care, how raw of a prospect he is because he is still a bit raw. There was plenty of snaps or plenty of reps he lost at the Senior Bowl, but I think he's going to be a big riser just because the NFL loves that mentality. Let's see. Go with this edge class. I mean, Jermaine Johnson's here, but Jordan Davis is fine. So they get Davis. I'm not gonna bash it. It's a good pick. He's gonna be a solid run stuffer for him with a bit of pass rushing upside. Let's see what else we got going. Miami Dolphins. What you do to my Dolphins? They go Daniel Falele. Oh my goodness. This guy cannot start right away, or else you're just gonna go ahead and Austin Jackson him. This cat, while, yeah, the size is incredible, he had a few good reps there at the Senior Bowl, but there are cases where guys like Jesse Luketa, who's the lesser-known edge rusher from Penn State, put him on his butt, his keister. He was like, hey, sit down. Because, listen, what Falele's game is right now, because again, still raw to the position in terms of his technique, but he doesn't have that mentality of like, I'm gonna bury guys. His mentality is, I'm a mountain, get around me. Well, Jesse Luketa was like, well, I can move mountains, and he moved mountains. So like, I don't think he goes in the first round. I think Trevor Penning's probably a lot more likely, but I could see him on day 2 being a very sexy pick a guy that you won't start early, but you think you could get maybe halfway through the season or maybe in year 2 get a very phenomenal edge rusher, right tackle, maybe even left. But as for the Dolphins, I want to get more firepower, dude. Bring me a receiver. Oh, give me Jameson Williams. Give me George Pickens. Those are the like 2 guys I'm thinking at this pick. All right. This video is getting long. I spent so much time bashing TPS. Trent McDuffie. The dude's fast. Length might be an issue for teams. If I'm Kansas City, I'm gonna jump on these guys that are falling in the edge class, like Arnold Ebiketie, Jermaine Johnson. I'm gonna jump on that because I really do think they should address pass rush, even if they bring back Melvin Ingram. Frank Clark is too, streaky. He is legit the J.R. Smith of the NFL. I'm just gonna say that. All right, let's go to the Bengals. Trevor Penning, here he is. Again, won't surprise me if he makes it in the NFL. Teams might even play him at guard early on, which, hey, that's actually a huge need for the Bengals before they kick him out to tackle. But he is still a project in his own. And yeah, I might go Zion Johnson here, dude. He looks like a guy you could throw onto the NFL field right now. And on top of that, he's looked good at the Senior Bowl. He's been playing center for the first time ever, and it hasn't been bad. It hasn't all been good. For a guy learning on the fly, it has not been bad. All right, Detroit Lions, Jameson Williams. They get a speedster downfield, play on the outside. You get him there with, who's the other cat that's Amon-Ra St. Brown. So you get some receiving help for Jared Goff in year 2. I'd be tempted to take Sam Howell here. I know Lions fans don't like the idea of taking quarterback with this pick. But, hey, if there's one that you like falls here, I think getting that 5th-year option is kind of huge. And you just kind of like roll the dice on maybe getting a receiver with your next pick. You pick early on in the 2nd round. And if not, you're going to get one of the top safeties, something like that. But no, this is a good pick. Nothing to bash here. For the most part, as TPS normally does, like the 2nd round is a bit, or the second half of the 1st round's a bit interesting. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead and do that YouTube thing. As always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.